Hello and welcome to the Imaging Wire Show. My name is Brian Casey. I'm managing editor of the Imaging Wire. We've got a great episode for you today. We'll be getting a preview from United Imaging of what they plan to show at RSNA 2025. And our guests are Edgar Alvarez, he's Vice President of X-Ray and Enterprise Services, Lorin Gorton, Vice President of CT, Troy Lewein, Vice President of MRI, and Wendy Winkle, Vice President of Molecular Imaging. Everyone, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Good to be with you.
Yeah, same here. So let's start with introductions. Can you, let's go through each one of you and just let us know a little bit about yourself and your role at United. Edgar, can you go first?
Yeah, my name is Edgar Alvarez. I've been in the medical imaging field now for over 25 years. And at United Imaging, I'm responsible for all of the X-ray portfolio, the interventional X-ray and the digital radiography and portable X-ray, as well as our enterprise services businesses for North America.
Perfect. Very good. Lorin, how about you?
My name is Lorin Gorton. I've been in the medical imaging field for approximately 30 years, 24 years in the industry, if you will. I'm in charge of all the CT products at United Imaging.
Very good. Troy, how about you?
Hey, Brian. My name is Troy Lewein. I've been in medical imaging for over 30 years, and I manage the MR business for Northern America for United Imaging. So glad to be here.
Very good. And Wendy, how about you?
Hi, Brian. I'm Wendy Winkle, and I'm the Vice President of Molecular Imaging here at United Imaging. I started in industry about 16 years ago, and prior to that, spent about 20 years in the academic and clinical setting.
All right, perfect. Well, everybody, thanks so much for being with us today. I'm looking forward to the discussion. So let's start by talking about some of the challenges that are facing radiologists and hospitals today. I think we all kind of have an idea of what a lot of them are. There's rising, volume of imaging procedures and workforce shortages and things like that. What are you hearing, Edgar? Can you talk a little bit about what you're hearing from your customers?
Sure, absolutely. We've gotten a lot of customer feedback and interventional X-ray and also for digital radiography on the two mega trends. One is definitely have the aging population, which is increasing demand for imaging and volume of cases, and also the staff shortages. In interventional radiology in particular, where the additional exposure to radiation does limit some of the careers of those physicians to practice medicine, which is causing, further bottleneck. So those are the two mega trends that we see in interventional X-ray.
Lorin, how about you? What kind of things are you seeing in the CT area?
Well, in CT, we've becoming more dynamic with the type of exams that we're doing, and there's really been a big uptick in cardiac imaging. And with cardiac imaging comes a lot of challenges, whether it's the patient or the post-processing. So we found that, the person that can post-process a cardiac imaging case the fastest wins the game. So with the least amount of interaction done.
Very good. And Wendy, what about molecular imaging, PET and nuclear medicine, things like that? What sort of challenges are people seeing out there?
I think one of the biggest challenges that we see really in molecular imaging and all through medicine is the ability to delineate patients for the right therapies. And so right now in the industry of PET CT, you're hearing a lot about theranostics. And so that's where PET is allowing you to see the physiology of the disease and the anatomy of the disease and utilize that to delineate patients to the correct therapy. And that's something that PET allows across the patient population.
So Wendy, let's continue with molecular imaging. If you can tell me, how does United's portfolio of molecular imaging solutions help customers deal with some of these challenges that you're seeing in that field?
One of the great things and a differentiator about United Imaging's portfolio is that we have the same resolution across our entire digital PET CT portfolio. So that really allows our physicians to see the disease sooner with 2.9 millimeter resolution. The other thing that's really, I think, impactful about our portfolio is that it's an AI-driven workflow. So that's also not only helping with them to visualize and see the disease sooner, but it's also helping technologists plan faster and more easily, and then also helping with workflow throughout the scanning process.
Very good. Troy, in MRI, what are some of the things that stand out with United's technology that you feel is helping people address these challenges?
Yeah, Brian, I would say, look, part of the challenge for radiologists is they're reading too many examinations or they don't have enough time. Technologists or staff shortages. And obviously, all of that drives some inconsistency. So the artificial intelligence solutions are really based around having software upgrades for life and all in configurations. From the MR side, that would be ACS, our artificial intelligence compressed sensing, and also our deep recon, which actually makes the image quality much better, eliminating noise, darkening the backgrounds, and making sure that the scan times can really be reduced if they need to be. I would say, secondly, it's workflow. Ultimately, with shortages in staffing, there's some inconsistency. But if we think about artificial intelligence and MR, it's really actually throughout the entire workflow of the patient. You're going to hear from us a little bit later about the AI camera automatically understanding the weight, the height of the individual, and being able to modify slices. But they lay down on the table, they get a nice soft coil placed over the top of them. They go inside of the bore, they see a nice starlight experience to make them comfortable. We have automation driven by artificial intelligence for respiratory gating and monitoring. And then, as mentioned before, the artificial intelligence solutions are for them. They don't have to buy them. They don't have to upgrade later on. It's just part of their standard configuration. And then for the radiologists, there's things like automated reading. We have a cardiac examination that can be done in around 10 to 12 minutes in 2 clicks. And that's a 2 button clicks essentially. And what that is, it's a lot easier for a technologist who's never done cardiac before. The system completely automates it with AI and actually also with another click does the post processing for the radiologist. So you can see in those examples, throughout the entire workflow, it's very important for consistency for not only the radiologist, but the technologist, the manager, everybody involved, including the patient.
Hmm. Lorin, in CT, what are some things that kind of stand out with your product that with the CT line you're helping people deal with some of these challenges that they're seeing?
Sure, Brian. Especially in cardiac, as I had mentioned before, we have several AI features that, for instance, we have what's called cardiac X phase, and that basically finds the optimal phase for each coronary vessel, and the system automatically does that for the technologist. That used to be a very time-consuming um, task. We have cardio capture, and that actually removes motion from the vessels, as well as motion freeze, which is basically if a patient is laying on the CT scanner and they're moving all around, it freezes that motion and allows for the radiologist to get a good image. And finally, we use AI for our ultra extended field of view, which we take advantage in our Atlas series. We have an 82 centimeter gantry aperture. We can actually image all the way out to that full 82 centimeters. Once again, these are all things that the technologist just has to hit one button, or it simply runs in the background. They don't have to worry about the heavy lifting. We let the scanner do that for us.
Perfect. Edgar, how about in X-ray interventional imaging? What kind of technologies does United have that you're really highlighting that help people deal with challenges out there?
Well, across our entire X-ray portfolio, we have a unique design philosophy. One is to move the system beyond just an imaging system to become a digital assistant for the IR lab or people in the rad rooms, the clinicians in the rad rooms. And we do that by leveraging our vertical integration. We have a United Imaging Robotics company, we have United Imaging Intelligence, we have even make our own AI chips. And what we did is we combined all of that into our new Uvera technology platform, which stands for Voice Enabled Robotics AI. So think about getting the clinical staff additional eyes, additional hands, an additional teammate in the room that really helps them to get those exquisite images at the lowest dose possible, and really expediting in that workflow.
Perfect. So, Edgar, can you talk a little bit about some maybe new product highlights from United during 2025?
Absolutely. So for the first two products that have the Uvera technology platform was the UAngio Viva, which is our ceiling mounted intervention radiology system, and also the UDR Aurora, which is our AI enabled ceiling mounted X-ray system. And so they both have the AI enabled voice assistant. So we call her Vera, similar to Siri and Alexa, where basically allows for hands-free operation of the system. We also have the AI cameras in the room that do a digital twin and 3D models for that personalized parameters and really helps expedite that positioning and execution of the exam. We have the robotics, which enables the clinical team to be where they need to be. So the system accommodates their workflow, not the users having to accommodate what the system can do. And then finally, with that vertical integration, we're able to embed AI throughout the entire imaging chain to really give you that exquisite image at low dose in real time. And that's what we've introduced in 2025.
Very good. Now, Lorin, let's talk about CT and what some of the new product highlights were in United and CT.
Thanks, Brian. We didn't really introduce a new product, but as Troy alluded to earlier, United Imaging offers software upgrades for life. And part of what I was talking about earlier with those cardiac features were part of that software upgrades for life. So the AI-enabled features for cardiac post-processing, the extended field of view, etc., those were all part of that. So that's one thing that a United customer can look forward to, is that we're always developing new softwares and new innovations, and they get that with their scanner.
All right, very good. How about Troy? How about in MRI? What were some of the product highlights during the year?
Yeah, well, we continued with our commitment to customers about software upgrades for life, as Lauren was alluding to. So for us, we really, again, looked at the workflow. And some features, for example, are automatic cropping. So the technologists no longer in MR have to trace around and cut the circle of Willis or the carotids. The system automatically does it for them. If a patient is moving, for example, again, looking at the workflow, the end to end of what I was talking about before, really what it's doing is taking a look at that patient. If there's any sense of motion or an image might become full of motion, it warns the operator so they can intervene with that patient. So great workflow solutions. And again, additional generations of our Superflex coils, which are extremely high density, which allow the coil actually to form to the patient, not the patient forming to the coil. So lots of workflow introductions. And again, our promise to our customers, software upgrades for life. We executed on that.
Very good. Wendy, let's talk about some of the product highlights in molecular imaging. What were some of the things that you'd like to draw attention to?
I think the thing that I'd like to highlight most about our portfolio is our focus on bringing equal health care for all. And we do that through things like scalability of our portfolio. So we really are able to provide the right solution for your patients whenever you need it. That enables patient access. That means you can focus on an obese patient population. We offer 24 to 148 centimeter axial field of view. And all those can be upgraded within the same room on those axial fields of view. In addition to that, as many have mentioned, we have all-in configuration. So you get every option on the system. So you're truly able to have what you need for every patient. And then also, last but not least, I'd like to mention our DPR iterative reconstruction. We've now implemented a reconstruction algorithm that's AI driven that allows you to look at multiple tracers instead of just FTG. And so that means for things like theranostics, it can really play a role in helping reduce dose and so forth.
Mm, very good, very good. Let's talk a little bit about a couple other issues that are really important in radiology right now, and obviously AI is kind of the elephant in the room, and everybody's trying to figure out not only how to make it work, but also to integrate it with their workflow. Wendy, can you talk about ways that you see AI improving radiologist workflow and efficiency?
Yeah, I think for molecular imaging, AI is really impacting the imaging spectrum from planning to scanning to processing and then interpretation. It's really about improving the workflow, the efficiency, while also improving accuracy and reproducibility. And that's really, I think, the way that AI is able to support molecular imaging in the best way possible. It's really making it feasible for physicians and technologists to do more with less.
Very good. Troy, what kind of things are you seeing? You're there, overseeing the MRI division. What kind of things are you seeing in terms of how AI can be integrated into workflow?
Yeah, we talked a little bit before about the end-to-end workflow, and I truly believe that anytime we can make it consistent for the radiologist, it helps them. Anytime we can eliminate artifacts with AI, it helps them. It really gives them confidence in reading. But even on the manufacturing side, we have industry leading homogeneity, so they don't have to worry about what an image looks like when it's off center. When you're in the center on a large abdomen, what the homogeneity might be like. You don't need any type of correction for that. So when you design an appropriate magnet, you don't have that. Software upgrades for life, as mentioned before, with artificial intelligence, really standard, and continuing to build on top of that stack to make it a lot easier, a lot more robust for them to read. And I would say there's some AI features inside of the workflow that can or cannot be used depending on the facility. Complete automation is available in every single part of the body with United Imaging for MR. So that shortage of the technologists before that we were talking about and the radiologists reading too many examinations can really be alleviated by automation driven by AI. That means brains, when someone comes back, let's say they have an unfortunate disease and month 1, month 3, and month 5, they're coming for follow-ups, the head and that body part will be positioned in the same place every single time. And we call that easy scan. So if you're dealing with traveling technologists or someone who might not be as experienced, who's just moving over to MR, it can really help the radiologist by driving consistency with artificial intelligence. And I'm an end-to-end workflow guy, so my examples are usually end-to-end workflow in the clinical environment. And then those are a couple additional ones I'd like to share.
Edgar, where do you see AI having the biggest impact on patient workflow and departmental optimization with solutions from the company?
Well, I think you've heard a lot from my colleagues. I mean, our plan and our strategy in AI is really to make AI intuitive, easy to use, and part of the workflow. They shouldn't have to, think or do anything differently. It should be an assistant that supports them, and they can readily, have, the great image quality. They should have consistent, patient positioning, reduce the amount of repeat examinations. For the radiologist, the key is we're here to support you. We support them and their workflow and their staff. And I think that's consistently we've seen that with all of our portfolio.
Mm. Lorin, how do you see AI impacting CT and United AI solutions having an impact on departmental efficiency?
Well, Brian, I think consistency is the word that we've all kind of been using. Radiology and radiologists want consistent output. So they don't want to say, oh, Brian's scanning today, his images are going to look this way, or Troy's scanning this way, it's going to look like that. They want all the images to look the same all the time. And that's our job to be able to offer that. We're not making people button pushers. We're assisting them with their career, and we're giving them the tools to succeed. So essentially that's where I'm going with this, is that we do offer those tools for consistency, and it makes everybody's lives in radiology much better.
Okay, very good. And one of the programs at United is UAI Vision. Edgar, can you tell us a little bit about that, and then maybe we'll go around to everybody and they can talk about how that program is impacting their modality?
Absolutely. So the UAI Vision cameras are 3D real-time AI imaging cameras that really look at and take a digital twin of everything in the room. So it's creating 3D models of the patient, of who's in the room, what's in the room, and the system itself. And it's providing all that information into all of our scanners and optimizing the workflow, the image quality, and that consistency that we spoke about. So for X-ray, we've embedded that UAI Vision camera in the tube head for the UDR Aurora, our ceiling-mounted X-ray and AI. And then on the IR for the UAngio Viva, we had 3 cameras in the room. And what this does is gives that digital twin for that personalized parameters, optimization of the positioning, and also with the voice control, they're able to basically operate the system hands-free and really focus on the procedure.
Very good. Wendy, how's that being applied in molecular imaging?
Yes, with the UAI Vision camera and molecular imaging, you're actually getting all the benefits that it provides for CT, as well as some additional benefits for PET. So for CT, it's enabling things like auto ALARA, auto KV, and auto MA that really helps reduce the radiation dose delivered to the patient. But with PET, It's also providing a contactless workflow for AI-based scanning. So it enables automatically positioning the patient, minimizing the need for manual setup. And it also applies something we call easy range for both PET and CT. So it's utilizing the intelligence to set the scan range and the reconstruction range settings, while also providing those benefits of the reduction in dose.
Very good. Lorin, patient positioning is so important in CT. How are these cameras assisting you there?
Exactly. ISO centering is the key word there. This makes sure that we're 100% ISO centered, because the patient could be out of ISO centered just by a few degrees, and it's going to increase the ultimate dose that that patient gets. So, as Wendy said, our systems are very similar. In fact, they're actually married. So a lot of the same features is that the other vendors offer a 2D camera where it takes a picture, and that's kind of their finished product and what they have to work with. Ours is continuously monitoring that patient while they're outside the gantry. And if they're moving around, such as a pediatric world where we all know the little squirrels like to move around, it tracks them and follows them. So it's all about dose savings and consistency in CT.
Perfect. Troy, can you talk about the cameras and how they're being applied in MRI?
Absolutely. A critical part of workflow. If we look at the end-to-end workflow again, as we've all been talking about, we talked about some automation before, we talked about some reconstruction and post-processing, but it's that front end of setup time that now is taking the longest, and where we're really looking at patient walks in the room, they lay down. The technologist no longer has to go leave the room, type in some information. The camera automatically understands the patient weight, the patient height, and other types of information that can make it very, very easy for them to set up, especially when they're new. So again, removing some of those challenges, making sure we're consistent across the entire workflow. So very excited to see this as we continue to roll it out and improve it across our modalities.
Perfect. Now, hard to believe, but RSNA is just a couple weeks away. Troy, can you tell us a little bit, without giving away too much, can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect to see from United Imaging and MRI?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be seeing a number of brand new industry leading technologies, but the one that I'll focus on is really going to embrace patient motion in the clinical arena. We're all sitting here right now, we're all breathing. We're moving around, our heads are moving, our hands are moving, and we're just going about our normal business. But the fact of the matter is, we've been trying to eliminate motion for so long in MR, but we haven't been embracing it. So the important part is we now have the tools developed to be able to move from still images to what you would call a high-end video camera that has higher channels, higher gradient capability, the ability to actually process and capture motion, and then be able to do a lot of other things with that information. So we're really helping the radiologists, the technologists, to eliminate motion and have that guessing not occurring so much when you see a lot of motion and fluids and others really competing. So look, we're going to embrace motion at RSNA 2025 in the MR portfolio.
Sounds good. Wendy, in molecular imaging, what should I be looking out for in the United booth in Chicago?
Certainly. We have some exciting additions to our portfolio this year. What our UMI portfolio is really focused on is providing equal health care for all. So whether it's scalability or bringing that technology to every patient where the patient needs you to be is really what we're focused on as we continue to develop. So I invite you all to the booth to see exactly what that is, but looking forward to seeing everybody there.
All right, very good. So, Edgar, can you tell us what we can expect to see in the X-ray and interventional section of United's booth at RSNA?
Absolutely. Our focus is going to be really around empowerment of the clinical teams in the interventional X-ray labs and also the digital radiography rad rooms. We'll be launching the next generation of UVera platform for interventional X-ray with the UAngioViva, and we'll be expanding our UVera technology platform in digital radiography. It's going to be quite exciting and groundbreaking technology.
All right, very good. And then, Lorin, what can we look forward to seeing in CT at United?
Well, we can look forward to seeing all those features that I was discussing previously that we are rolling out to our current customers. And we're going to have a couple beautiful mysteries that I would rather not talk about. I'd rather have people come to the booth and take a look at.
All right, fair enough. Something to look forward to then. All right, well, I'd like to thank all of our guests, Edgar Alvarez, Lorin Gorton, Troy Lewein, and Wendy Winkle of United Imaging. Everybody, thanks so much for being with us. It's been great talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you all in Chicago.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Signing off for the Imaging Wire, my name is Brian Casey.